Hello, hello! Welcome back to VBS Event Summaries. Sega knew that we were going to need a little bit of a breather after the peak that was over Rad Squad, so today we get to have some nice, relaxing Toya time. Actually, the next few events are a bit of an Akitoya fest, which I am very excited about. These two idiots will not get out of my head. Play That Beautiful Sound is a Toya mixed focus that ran on the JP server from August 9th through the 15th, 2024. This time, we'll have appearances from N25 and Leonid alongside VBS. Yes, you heard that right. N25. Everyone clap and cheer, we get to see Nigo! Okay, maybe I'm the only one clapping and cheering, but I'm always happy to see Night Court at mixed events. They could use a bit of an angst break. Well, now that Rad Blast is over, Toya and the rest of VBS have found themselves with a lot of free time. Without the need to practice from sunup till sundown, Toya doesn't really know what to do with himself. He thinks it might be a good opportunity to try something new. He spots An across the street, talking to the manager from the music equipment store that lends VBS speakers and mics for their events. There's a bit of a situation. The manager is on staff for Shibuya Instrument Day, and they unfortunately don't have enough personnel at the moment. He was asking An if she knew anyone who could help. Kohane is on vacation with her family, and Akito is buried under piles of all the homework he left to rot, so that's 2 strikes. An has been hesitant to ask Toya because she figured that he would be busy as well. As it happens, this whole thing is really up Toya's alley. A convention for musical instruments? Though he really only knows piano and violin, it's clear that Toya loves music in all of its forms. He agrees to help, of course. He doesn't have anything going on anyway. Hooray! On Toya time! I've been waiting for a chance for these two to have some friendship time. An and Toya explain everything to their partners in the Vocaloids in the Sekai. Toya admits to being nervous about having to interact with the customers, since he's never really done that sort of thing before and is a bit of an awkward person overall, if you know what I mean. Seeing Toya get all bashful spurs his team into action, and An immediately offers to teach him what she knows. In return, Toya will teach An about instruments and such. Meiko offers her cafe as a location, and the two get right to work. Toya's first few attempts are, let me find the nicest words to use here. Stiff? Robotic? Yeah, let's go with that. Robotic. But more like if the robot was kind of evil and overly anxious. Poor Toya is getting way too nervous about getting everything right. But after a few days of practicing, he's definitely made an improvement. Toya always puts maximum effort into everything, and this little volunteer opportunity he's undertaken is no different. He's even learning how to play a few different wind instruments in order to answer any questions that may crop up during the convention. There's my favorite composer! Hi, Kanade, how are you? Oh, hello to you too, Mafiu. I forgot that these two are basically joined at the hip now, physically rather than just through night cord. My domestic Kanamafu, how I love you. The two of them are grocery shopping when they notice that the store they're at is running a special promotion. Shoppers get to spin a wheel if they spend a certain amount, and it just so happens that Kanamafu qualifies. They spin, and out pops a capsule that holds 2 free tickets to Shibuya Instrument Day. How convenient! Since Kanade hasn't seen any live music recently, and Mafiu might need a break in routine, they both decide to go to the event. The night before, Toya is still feeling iffy about his customer service skills. He has everything else down, from the plan for the booth setup to the explanation of how the instruments work, but he's still tense no matter how hard he tries. That's when Saki spots Toya at the Scramble Crossing. They catch up pretty quick and get to talking about Shibuya Instrument Day. When Toya explains his nervousness, Saki just smiles and says that she believes in him. Saki knows that Toya loves music and instruments. Does he remember? The first time he came over to the Tenma household, Toya was really shy and anxious. Then Tsukasa loudly proclaimed that they were having a recital, and Toya's eyes lit up when music was involved. They played the piano together, a huge smile on Toya's face. So, Saki knows that once music starts playing, Toya will be able to step into his role no problem. The convention has an ocean theme. An and Toya were expecting something formal and stuffy, but the setup is really thematic and relaxing. Once the doors open, An really steps into her role, as you might expect. She's just really good at everything. And thanks to Saki's pep talk, Toya steps into his role as well. Really, once he gets talking about music, Toya's instincts take over and he handles the interactions with ease. Kanamafu goes right to the concert as expected. The live performance was the reason Kanade wanted to attend, after all. As they're walking around the convention hall, Kanade accidentally bumps into a little boy. The boy looks like he's about to burst into tears, but it's not because Kanade hurt him when they ran into each other or anything. She and Mafuyu convince the boy to take a seat at a nearby bench while they try to figure out what's wrong. So this young boy is in a marching band. He plays the trumpet, but he's still learning and isn't very good yet. He tends to get left out of performances a lot as a result, and when he saw those performers up on stage playing beautiful music, he got really jealous and frustrated with his own lackluster skill level. Mafuyu suggests going over to the booth about wind instruments, which again just so happens to be Toya's booth, and testing out some of the demo trumpets. They also have instructors over at the booth who might be able to help. Aw, how cute! I didn't think the four of them would recognize each other, but the Shibuya Fan Fest is coming back to haunt me once again. But that is the last time they spoke, and it's been at least an in-game year since then, so it's been a while at the very least. Kanade explains the situation, and An and Toya get right to work. The manager/teacher is busy right now, but if all this boy wants is to produce an even note, then Toya might be able to help. While Toya and the boy start practicing, An notices Kanade and Mafuyu standing off to the side and asks if they want to try playing trumpets as well. Well, since they're here, they might as well, right? An also joins in for the fun of it, though it doesn't go so well at first. But of course, since An just picks up everything so quickly, she and Mafuyu are able to make some even sounds after a few tries. Kanade, on the other hand, she can't figure it out. Maybe it's because she doesn't have a whole lot of breath support? I mean, if you've ever heard her sing, she's usually quieter and sounds like she's singing on an exhale most of the time. With only 30 minutes of the convention left and close to no progress being made, the little boy Toya is helping becomes increasingly more frustrated. Actually, scratch that. More like he's giving up. It all feels like doomsday to this little boy. If he can't even make a decent sound using only the mouthpiece, how is he supposed to play a trumpet at all? Maybe this instrument just isn't for him. Toya gets flashbacks of his own childhood and stops the boy before he can leave and give up completely. Toya's had a similar experience with his classical music background. Really, he's had countless experiences where he couldn't produce the sound he wanted and nearly gave up as a result. But, in the end, Toya loves music and can't live without it. Music makes him happy, so he always kept trying, no matter how hard things got. Maybe this boy just needs to remember why he wants to play music, and the feelings that bring him to it. Toya's pep talk actually worked on Kanade. Oops, but also yay! Kanade remembered how important it is to have a clear image of the emotions you want to convey through music while playing an instrument, or just composing in general, really. Maybe it really is just a mental block. Using the combined advice from Toya and Kanade, the boy is finally able to make a clear, even sound. His bandmates come over just as he plays the successful note, and they all cheer for him, before whisking him away to meet up with their band director. Kanade and Toya bond over the feeling of pure joy they felt watching this boy learn how to play the trumpet. They're both reminded of the time they first set their hands atop a piano, or a keyboard in Kanade's case, and how the thrill of playing music developed for them. But the convention is ending, so the four of them need to part ways for now. An and Toya go get some much-needed takoyaki after all of the cleanup is finished, and reflect on the positive experience they both had. That's another stamp on the Toya Tries New Things bingo card. Hooray! That wraps things up for this mixed event. Just a cute, fun little time for everyone. We really did need that after the Hype Fest from last time. I've been curious about what this event entailed for a while. I was really hoping it would be the event where Toya and Kanade got to talk about composing together. Oh well, maybe I can find a fanfiction about it or something. These two are so eerily similar sometimes. Oh, and for my fellow Kanamafu fans, there's a moment in Kanade's card side story where she and Mafuyu play the piano together like they did in At This Festival Bathed in Twilight, just in case you needed something to pull at your heartstrings. Next up, oh boy you guys, it's finally time for another event I've been waiting for. I hope you'll join me for Rekindle the Flame. I'll see you then.